Hey everybody, what's happening? Vey here, back again for Kult of Athena with another blade review. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal setting at home or over at the gym after training when we normally do blade reviews, but we're going to work with it today. So we have a Darksword today. This is an Einar Darksword. Very, very intricate knotwork on the handle and the pommel. This again is going to be a tabletop review. One, because this is a pretty expensive dark sword, to be honest, and also it's only slightly sharpened, so there really wouldn't be any point of doing a cut test with it, only because, you know, it's not very sharp at all, so it would more just be like hacking and smashing through anything that we would be hitting it with. So we're going to do some specs on it. We're going to look at the, the really, really nice work that they did on the handle in a little bit more detail. So let's do it. So we have an overall length of about 36 3/8 inches, all the way from the tip of the handle right here, tip of the pommel, to the very end. Notice that they put a steel tip on the end right here. That way, if you are to accidentally drop this, you're not going to completely destroy the tip of your sword. So let's take it out of the scabbard right now. So we have a double-edged blade, slightly sharpened. So what does that categorize as, right? Being very careful with running this on my finger right now. It's not really catching it. It's not like a butter knife, but it could definitely use a sharpening, especially if you're going to do cut tests with this one. So take a look at the handle right here. Notice the very intricate knotwork that they put on here. There's the peen pommel. You can see it's very pronounced on the end of it. And the knotwork on the black part of the handle. Right on the grip. Notice the shape of the handle without me dropping this. See how it goes all the way up? So the forefinger is the thickest part of the grip, and then down toward the side of it, down toward the pinky finger, you'll see that it allows you to have the pinky almost wrapped completely around it. I have pretty average sized hands, so give you an idea. More space on the handle than a standard Viking sword would be. You'll see you got a little bit more than a finger's width distance, almost about 1.5 on both sides. So depending on how you choose to hold this, maybe a handshake grip, maybe straight across. I like straight across. It's just what I'm used to for single-handed swords. The blade length itself, just the blade itself, is 29 7/8 inches. You'll see we have a deep, pronounced fuller going down the blade. And get that reflection out of there so you can see it. Okay. So the fuller, some people call it blood groove. I don't know why, but the fuller is intended to take excess weight out. As far as blade-to-blade contact, I don't know really how much they would really do as far as that goes, but I do know that a lot of the fullers are really just to take weight out, which is, it makes sense, because why keep excess weight? You know, for a craftsman, it's probably a little bit more of a pain in the ass to to get it all carved out and everything and banged out properly, but, you know, it depends on what you want out of a blade. You'll notice the knotwork. It's intended to be a ode to Norse mythology as far as the knotwork. The serpent-like symbols going around it. It looks really nice. I don't even know, for Darksword, I don't know if this is handmade or if this is like casted or something, but however it is, they did a really good job on it, because got a heck of a lot of detail on here. Even the end of the pommel, which you saw a little bit already, Damn, it looks really good. Like how I'm reviewing it and already still in awe about it. I said before, this is moderately sharp. So if you were to have like a napkin or a piece of paper, it's not even able to cut through it. Which is not a big deal because depending on the blade, sometimes we don't have it offered for a sharpening service, like for every single blade. But if you are interested, majority of the time for dark swords, we can add a sharpening service to it. That way you can do some cut testing with it if you'd like, or if you'd like to just display it, this is just fine for that. You know, we also have sword stands available if you wanted to pick one up as well if you were purchasing this blade. That way you can display it, which would be a really nice collection piece. I mean, if you don't want to really beat something up like this, then you can always display it, admire the craftsmanship. Another thing to mention, I said a little bit already, but the grip length. We have a 4-inch grip length. So we have a good amount of room. So if you have a larger hand, this will accommodate you. I don't know exactly how big your hands are, but I will say that this is a lot bigger than, a lot longer of a handle length than the windlass battle cry line. That one tends to be a little bit more narrow. That just depends on what they want out of it, you know, so. This one I like better, only because, I mean, aesthetically pleasing, of course, but I also like it because you have the ability to shift your grip if you want it to be more choked down. Personal preference, really. I like having a little bit more movement in the hand and the handle. And Darksword has their logo stamped in. Get all in there, you can see it. They usually stamp their logo right near the guard. Sometimes it's stamped a little bit more shallow, sometimes it's stamped a little bit more deep, pressed into the steel. This one is a pretty good one, so where you can actually have it, you can see it pronounced pretty well on the end of the blade there. So in the scabbard, again, there's a steel tip. We have a black leather stitch scabbard. So these are all stitched on the back of it. And then they have the rain flap. So what that is, you can see it kind of comes out like a alligator mouth on the sides. That way, when you are when you're carrying this one does not have the integrated sword belt, but when you're carrying this, you are able to have everything right off of it as much as you really can. And with dark swords, usually a pretty smooth draw on them. These are wood cord, so they have a wood core to them. You can also get, if you're looking to get this to where you're going to wear it on your belt at like a Renaissance fair, or you're doing like a cut test party or something like that, we have sword hangers available that will actually wrap around this section right here. You can see it's all pretty much ready for a sword belt. Okay, so we got that. Here's what it looks like in the scabbard. So the crossguard and pommel are cast bronze, as you can see. There's the peen pommel in the very end right there. And then we have the Norse knotwork going around it, which is really cool because it's twofold, because it offers obviously the aesthetics of it, but it also offers a really solid amount of grip. So if your hands were sweaty, this does offer some traction to it, kind of like a car tire to the inside of your hand. I try to get as many close-ups as I can so you guys can really see, you know, what do these actually look like in the hand. That's one of the main intentions for tabletop reviews, and honestly all these reviews, is trying to get you, even though it won't be, trying to get you the closest thing to like what it would look like in your hand before purchasing it, so then you're not, you know, just doing a coin toss off of purchasing an item like this. I'm going to lay this out on the table, hence it being a tabletop review, and we're going to get some really close-up looks at it, so it could be as close as possible to how you would see it if this was in your hand, which is one of the main intentions of tabletop reviews, and one of the main intentions of these videos at all, is being able to give you a close enough look at it to where you can get a really good idea. Sometimes pictures just aren't enough, so I'm glad to help out and give you a better perspective on how these blades look. So now we're going to run over to that and do the extreme close-ups. So I want to thank you for joining me today for this tabletop review of the Darksword Einar Viking sword. We took a look at some specs on it, took a look at the beautiful handle on here. This slightly sharpened sword is available at cultofathena.com. I'm doing a... So I want to thank you for joining me today on this tabletop review of the Viking Einar Sword by Darksword. This beautiful bronze knotwork on this. So this slightly sharpened Viking sword is available at cultofathena.com. What I'm doing now to make it super simple for you, if you want to see like further photos of some of the blades that we're reviewing, I have a direct link directly to all the items now. Whenever you want to check something out, it goes directly to the website, directly to the item that I'm reviewing. That way, make it super simple for you guys, one click, and then you can get over there if you're looking to purchase this item. Follow us on Instagram if you want to see more close-ups of this blade and the other ones available at cultofathena.com. More videos coming soon for March. Into the new year, we're starting to mix up the variety of reviews. Cut testing will be coming back, hopefully in full force within the next month or two, especially with the weather finally warming up. Chicago winter is going to be kind of brutal if you're not familiar with the area that we're from. So thank you again for your support. We're just trailing under 4,000 subscribers now. I think we're at about 3,600, so thank you again for the support on that. Greatly appreciated. In the meantime, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like this video, and I hope to talk to you soon.